At first, I had no idea what long D meant. I learned what it meant while watching the movie. The movie didn't tell me exactly, but I think it's because it's a common term. As soon as the movie started, when I put the title in the folder, I said, "Will you marry me?" and then I typed in long D. I realized that D is for distance. Long-distance relationships are called long distance. Long distance probably means a distance that you can't go to immediately if you want to meet. If you live that far away and still love each other, it's possible. The movie obviously reminds me of Search, and it was actually made by the same people who made Search and the same people who made Long Distance Romance, and they used a MacBook here. So the sound effects and things like that were so identical at the beginning. Although I don't know if that's actually what it sounds like because I've never used a MacBook before. Doha Jang Dong-yoon is organizing folders on her MacBook. From there, we start with the video of how she first met Tae in Park Yuna. It's a video that Doha took herself. It's on her phone, and she just happened to take it on the street. She spotted Tae in's team, Yeonsan Gupshin, busking and immediately became a fan. He follows them everywhere they perform, and eventually becomes their manager. Unfortunately, the band falls apart when their guitarist quits after auditioning for the band. Doha stays with Tae and works hard to help him become a better musician, and the two fall in love with each other. They met in their mid-20s, but they're in their late 20s. Tae is also doing some commercial music, but it doesn't work out so well. So he moves back to his parents' house for financial reasons, and Doha tries to get a job as a foreign car salesman. They both have their own things to do at this point, so they drift apart, and it's all shown through the videos that Doha takes. Each time she clicks on a video file in a folder, a video comes up, and we get to see what she sees at the beginning in full screen, which makes it more emotional. We don't see each other much because Doha is busy working hard in sales and Tae is helping out at his parents' house. We keep in touch with each other on KakaoTalk and video chat. I don't know if it's because it was shot in Korea, but it's because it was a collaboration with a foreign country, or because it reminded me of Search. The video call somehow felt more like a Facebook video call than a Korean video call, because there is a unique sound behind the KakaoTalk FaceTalk. At such times, I feel that Doha is eager to make a video call, but Tae is a little different. It's inevitable, because after the video call, Doha ends it with, "I love you," and Tae doesn't end it like that, he ends it with, "bye." Which might not be a big deal, but if you're in a relationship, it can be sensitive, and if you're kind of insensitive, it can be, but Doha doesn't take it that way. She's a little bit disappointed, because she said, "I love you," and she wanted to be told, "I love you." But it doesn't mean that her love has gone cold. It's just that she's frustrated that the music isn't working out. And Doha has no intention of breaking up with Taein, who she's been dating for a while. She started out as a fan, so she's all for Taein. But then something happened to her. I met James Han Go Gun Han, and it turns out we went to elementary school together, and he's an influencer now, and he has a lot of YouTube subscribers, and everything he does is talked about. And that's enough to make money, and even if it wasn't, he's like a rich guy. He buys Doha a car, and he's very nice to her. James has introduced her to a lot of people, so she's doing well in the car business. James is also an alumnus, so he's looking out for her. But then something really big happens. First, Doha wants to propose to Tae. She makes all the arrangements and plans to propose to Tae on the day he comes to Seoul, but he has other commitments that day, so she's a little late. James is clueless and asks Doha to come to the party. He tells her that he has a lot of people who can help her. She refuses, but Tae talks her into it. From there, the movie takes an unexpected turn. Doha's single-mindedness is questioned, and Tae is misunderstood. They say hurtful things to each other and spiral out of control. When I see that, I sometimes think that what I said about caring for the other person is misunderstood. I would rather be honest with each other. I don't want the other person to have a hard time hearing my story. I think I'm being considerate by not bringing it up when I'm busy, but it just leads to more misunderstandings. It's fun to watch, and it makes you realize that people who do this kind of long distance are dating and in relationships. Towards the end of the movie, it gets a little bit emotional and makes you cry. Watching the movie, it also makes you realize that being successful on YouTube is really meaningful and important. Because when you do something for yourself, it's really empowering. What happens to their relationship after they misunderstand each other? I had a lot of fun with it, to the point where I was upset that the audience was so small. It would be great if 100,000, 200,000 more people would watch the movie because of my review. It would be great to have that kind of influence, and YouTube is a big part of that. It's a movie where the main character, Jang Dong-yoon, almost does it all by himself.